Hello guys, this is my last video on the subject, and I finished the Hofner bass, as you can see here, or not see, there you go. And isn't it a beauty? We love her very much. Win all round. It's very popular on the Instagram and all the other places you might be able to find it on the interweb. Now, let's go through some more details. So, we did the scoring on the lacquer. You see, we sanded that back first, and then we did the scoring, and then we did some staining processes, and we also did this chipping away corners and things of the poly to make it look as though it had naturally worn away in time. That's just part of my process. I'm not saying that you should do that on your instrument. We did some lacquer checking, some more lacquer checking in different shapes and so on. Oh, I'm going to stop talking like this now. In different shapes to simulate how lacquer checking happens on different woods, like maple. Maple, it goes with the grain going this way, obviously, because the grain is, well, the flame is going that way. The grain is also going down, but you know, it just cracks differently compared to like a spruce top, and I think it's important to make that variation clear. So we also dulled and affected the metals with different acids. We used nitrocellulose, tinted nitrocellulose lacquers to simulate sun what would you call it? Sun distressing? When the sun basically affects plastic and darkens it. We did that also slightly to the pick guard, more so in the corners to also simulate sort of like where it wouldn't have been worn away basically. And it's aged here and here, but it's been worn away a bit more here, so it's slightly lighter. I don't know if you can see that in the video. We dulled the metals on the pickups, you know, simulate a bit of, well, we did actually rust the poles slightly. We scratched them also slightly, you know, these kind of things happen over years. We also used a little bit of stain on the pickups as well, just to bring out a bit more of like a yellowy kind of tint, yellowy orangey kind of tint. And then we sealed that in with nitrocellulose clear. We also added this decal, like the 62 would have. We did all of this wearing away and filled it with stains and scratched it back again, and then sprayed it with cellulose and then scratched that back again, and then worked into it with wax, tinted wax. We added the flat wound strings, of course. We leveled the high frets. We polished and crowned and polished them. Rather, we added this decal after the headstock decal from before had worn away. I didn't admittedly build up tons of lacquer and then level sand it, because the original would have been screen print, and you would have seen that and had all bumpy and texture and stuff, so I wasn't too fussed about that. Plus, over time, I think if you look at Stratocasters especially, and Telecasters, you will see the outline of the decal on an older model. It's just something that happens when lacquer sinks. It does just sink. So even if you were to level sand it and polish it in 20-30 years, you'll come back to it and you'll be able to see a slight outline. So we did the lacquer checking all over the place. We did more chipping away to just accentuate the damage that was already there on the base. You know, cracks and chips, bringing out what was already damaged to make it look more, I don't know, blasé, more, give it more of an impact rather than kind of accidental vibe. We also sanded the back of the neck, not to remove the lacquer, but just to smooth it all out, so you get that horrible, sticky, awkward playing texture away from the instrument completely. We rounded the edges of the fretboard with different grades of sanding block, and that made a huge difference. What you had before, which was like maybe a sharper edge here, on a sharp edge on all of the edges of the frets, we got rid of that in about 5-10 minutes. By rubbing all of that back, maybe 15 minutes. It's just such a simple process. Why wouldn't you do it on your guitar? We just accentuated some chips and dings and brought out some of that vibe. And then we also stained all of the binding with a mixture of tinted amber and like a golden oak colour, it's like a browny light brown colour. And then we sealed that in with satin nitrocellulose. So we've also set it up, of course, as the description suggests. I think it's pretty good. I think that if it were my instrument personally, maybe I wouldn't have done some of the wear and tear on here. I like wear and tear, but I don't like tons of it. But we really wanted to go to town on this one. My customer, the bass player in my band, really likes this, and that's what I was working towards. I was working towards his satisfaction and his happiness with his instrument, which now, has beautiful fretboard, a beautiful set of frets, that vintage vibe that you just can't find unless you pay for a service like mine or spend £7,000 on an actual 1962 instrument or more. These things only go up in value, and hopefully, sometime the people who want this kind of look might be willing to pay more for a service like mine on a pretty modest wage. So we'll see. At the moment, relic working and like artistic relicking is kind of scoffed at by a majority, I would say. It's quite hard sometimes posting stuff on the internet. People have an opinion about this kind of work that's not always so pleasant, but it's a beautiful thing now. I think this instrument, it's taken it from a shop bought off the shelf bass to something really hand finished, unique, and kind of sexy and cool. I think it's just different, and it's totally customizable. This was the look that we were going for from a set of pictures that we had, and you could have any image that you wanted and make it towards that. So in conclusion, it plays and is set up really well. I could show you that, I guess, for a couple of seconds, just so you have an idea of the action and playability. Flat wound strings are I didn't tune it after taking photos. So even as an acoustic bass, this sounds really nice, especially with the flat wounds. We've got a pretty low action, and we're all really happy with it. So thanks for joining me. I do have a disclaimer to make. One of the videos, probably one of the most important and interesting videos about a couple of these processes, failed to upload. And because I have no memory on my phone and I have a pretty old computer and a pretty aged technology thing in general here, other than my missus who has like much more advanced technology than me, because it's failed to upload and I directly filmed it onto YouTube, there's no way of me claiming that, I can just watch it sitting there, failed to upload in YouTube's subscription upload whatever thingy-majiggy. So sorry about that. I think that the episode was about the process of staining the binding and doing the lacquer checking work on the back, and also like sealing it in with nitrocellulose. I might have also done the chipping away on the headstock and the sanding back of the neck and stuff like that. So there was probably quite a lot of content in that one. I'm just gonna keep doing videos every now and again, try and improve how I do them. I'm by no means any good at it, but I hope it's been interesting to see something go from, you know, really quite basic, off the shelf, medium budget guitar to something that's playing and looking and feeling really, really unique and cool. Thanks a lot for joining me, everybody. I'm sorry for all of the bad accents. I apologise personally to every single member of the Beatles. And no one ever really dies, and peace. Thank you.